here's a list of a few bands that I think you should listen to as well. Let's get started with the list. We will go through 13 down to number 1. The songs I will play are the best songs that I feel encompasses their sound the best. Hopefully you will feel that way too. Number 13 is a band named Modern Baseball. I don't know about you, but this new wave of legit emo music that's been coming out has been kinda bland to me. Something about sorority noise and moose blood just don't cut it for me for some reason. However, Modern Baseball stands out because their songs just are so narrative driven with a snarky sense of humor while still being absurdly sad at times. Number 12 is a group named 21 Pilots. I think you should listen to Apartment 21 Pilots also. Listen to their old jams. Worry Face and Vessel are fine and all but regional at best, and their self-titled albums are fantastic. Regional is the best album ever written, in my opinion. It hits all the right buttons. It feels nostalgic, it's cinematic with crazy variety and the DIY mentality concerning the fact that it was recorded in their basement. Don't dismiss an act just because they're on radio and act like you're superior to everybody. That just makes you look like more of a sheep in my opinion. Fake You Out is pretty good. Number 11 is a band named Modest Mouse. This band's sound fluctuates incredibly without ever sacrificing the artistic integrity, and I think that's really radical. They're insanely nostalgic and their live shows are some of the best that I've ever seen. Be sure to hear Spitting Venom and Third Planet by them. Number 10 is a band named The Front Bottoms. It should be no surprise that I love this band. Actually, I adore them. They manage to wiggle right into my heart and tear it in half from the inside out. The amount of agony and thanks to their songs is borderline abuse by my standards, but I keep coming back to them, and their pop melodies and punk attitude along with Brand Cell's really weird vocals turn this into one of my favorite bands. I've heard the past few years. Get a few weeks of consistent listening and you'll be hooked. Or just listen to the Beers please. Number 9 is a band named The Gorillaz. Everybody has heard of The Gorillaz. All the cool kids like The Gorillaz. Everybody likes to hate on the Humans album even though he shouldn't because it was rad. Number 8 is a band named This Man. They are another nostalgic one. They're a bit weird and eclectic. And I find that it's odd that they're as popular as they are, but I'm in full support of them because they haven't sacrificed any of their musical mentalities in light of their popularity. If anything, they flourish the most when they're in the spotlight. Definitely Jammed All Alone, Pierce the Veil. I wish that Pierce the Veil wasn't associated with the cringy hyper hot topic, kids, because nobody can take them seriously. And that's a gosh darn shame because their music is ridiculously masterful. It's fast, aggressive, and has some awesome progressive rock mentalities. Their songs are a bit tougher to swallow than most groups, and that's mainly due to the occasional strange song structures. They aren't just verse chorus bridge chorus. Sometimes they're just one straight shot of a continuously evolving to an end. As a mediocre musician speaking, that is really tough to pull off. Perhaps to them they do not deserve to be taken so lightly. Here, dive in by them. I verbally said wow after listening to it for the first time, and that's a true story. Okay. Now we're getting into the interesting stuff with bands that you might have heard of. Our number 7, which is a band named Motion City Soundtrack. This band can break your heart because Memory is the saddest album that ever made. And that's just because it was made in the right place at the right time. This is one of the best emo bands of all time. You should hear Time Turn Fragile as soon as possible. It will confirm what I have said about these pioneers. Our number 6 band artist is Gagetown. This dude is so cool. Gagetown is one of my favorite indie artists, and he makes some rad YouTube content as well. His Lemon Boy music video was on fire. He deserves a lot of love and support. The number 5 is a band named This Is Home, which I'm a very big fan of. These guys are has-beens in terms of popularity, but they're peaking in terms of quality. The Canyon by The Used is a great album. And the raw and pure emotional intensity from this album consistently can give you goosebumps while listening, like it elicit a physical response in your body. Their older material is very similar to Revenge Era. The number 4 band is My Chemical Romance. I highly recommend this group, and you should listen to Dark Days. Number 3 is a band's name is McCafferty, and it is super unfair to call these guys an angry front band because there are a lot more than that. This is a strange comparison. They're like if BoJack Horseman turned into an emo dance punk band because they both have strange and over-the-top humor that serves to make the crushing and dark lows seem much more horrific. When this band wants to party they get crunk, but yet when they want to get sad they get really sad. The number 2 band is Bravo Guys You Should Jam Out to Beach Boy, which is as close to a pop anthem as I can find. And last but not least, the number 1 artist group is Emma Noodles, and she's kinda blown up over the years. She's mostly known for covering alternative music on ukulele and keyboard, but she also cranks out some pretty great originals from time to time. She's got enough material to do a full-length album, so she has, and it's tremendous. Next are some bonus bands, artists and groups that have also been awesome over the years, so I thought I would share my insight on them as well. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Pretty much anything Frank Air touches. Frank Ira used to play guitar in My Chemical Romance. What's so compelling to me is that he went from playing in sold-out arenas to crusty coffee shops and basements in less than 2 years. And no, I'm not saying you went from basements to arenas. I'm saying he went from arenas to basements. He still pours his heart into all of his material. Leathermouth has some fantastic thematic post-hardcore borderline horror punk bangers. The Celebration is excellent emo punk. Dead Spells is hardcore glitch punk, and The Patience is wonderfully condensed pure sad New Jersey vibes. I honestly prefer all of these releases to My Chemical Romance, and that's saying quite a bit because that band is plenty nostalgic to me. Listen to Catch Me If You Can. Tradition Choke on One Another and Veins. These are like all different bands, so they all get different recommendations. Jeff Rosenstock. This dude is the current king of punk rock right now. He embodies punk and has become an underground cultural icon. He used to sing for Bomb the music industry, but his solo act has like really taken off right now. Jeff seems with brutal honesty about growing up dealing with mental illness and addiction and plenty of political subjects. He's definitely a really good role model if you're looking to be a musician yourself. Definitely hear you in. Weird Cities have one. Now we're delving into the darkest depths of my music taste. These are the folks who you really have not heard of. Legit, these guys are really tough to hunt down unless you know the artists personally or you live near them. Hopefully you're familiar with Bandcamp because these guys pretty much all live their king and queen. The Losers. I plug this stupid band whenever I can. Because I love them. There's such a clear aesthetic that comes through in both their music and their visuals. Think if Portlandia met Tim and Eric at a meeting kind of thing. They're rough around the edges and they have some serious rock influences and a DIY attitude and a really good YouTube channel. By the way, you should definitely watch the podcast I did with them the other week too. I talked about infiltrating a Mormon convention, and that's a pretty good story. What's the World War mean by them? Because they are fantastic. And I love them a lot, though within poopies I mean, they're not called the Weapon Movies. But I mean, my grandma watches my channel and I can't be saying the shish word. You know, it is ridiculous. I'm not a part of this band because they are modern baseball meets the Front Bottoms meets a video game Donkey meets BoJack Horseman. This is essentially me in a band, but I'm not in it. That's so weird. Yo, Mr. Peanut Butter is a pretty good song. I think you should listen to it. Jordan Thorn Quest. I am honestly really sad for all of you because a good chunk of y'all will never meet Jordan in your life. I love this dude. And that doesn't mean I'm adding him to this list just because he's my friend. I genuinely think that he's phenomenally gifted. His last DP Late Bloomer was pretty harrowing, emotional, bluesy, pop-punk rock vibes. It was all really good. It seriously blew me away the first time I heard it, and he is more than deserving of your attention. Man Seeking Pity is a straight bop. Yo. Ekra. I've actually used Heckler's music in my depression video, you know, at the very end, and also like the Screamo song. Yes, those two songs are about the same artist. Ekra is a solo artist from Chicago who does a weird bizarre mix of hardcore pop punk, alternative math rock, metal and pop when it goes hard. It crushes your face it was sheer brutality, but when it wants to sound pretty it takes my breath away. This artist captures highs and lows within a matter of seconds and it's crazy. I'll be Blaze live someday because he is one of my favorite artists at the moment. Listen to this as cinema please. The Marshmallow Ghost Savannah, Georgia sounds like a place that I'd like to visit just to get a taste of music scene. The Marshmallow Ghost is an experimental shoegaze alternative band with heavy make-breaking Halloween vibes. They release a different project once a year ranging from storybooks to scary stories to music releases and their music is outstanding. I own it on CD, DVD and vinyl. They're self-titled as wonderful. If you enjoy fall vibes like it fills me with so much joy and excitement here. White satin gown sand terrible alright, this is a 12-piece freak folk psychedelic alternative local group. Does that sound boring? It pretentious? You're darn incorrect. There's nobody like them that I've ever heard in the production quality and sophistication for their music given that it is a local group in my area is outstanding. Some of these jams belong in an indie movie trailer. Their unflinching reflections on the human condition and the inevitability of death in oblivion are mainstays in their lyrics and they dabble in Americana folklore in their imagery. They're just good. Please jam out to them. They're tough to track down but you'll be happy that you found them. Listen to Shadows Before You Die. Please scratch 21 alright. If you can get past the anthropomorphic animal artwork, this group is stellar. Their sound is akin to like a cleaner and more polished Blink-182 without the 90s attitude and more modern day sensibilities. They straight up destroy the whole nice guy friendzone character with their songs Sorry Jack and include that to this day form about bullying in one of their singles too. If you can get past the cartoony aesthetic, this band is definitely worth a listen to. Check out Sorry Jack. And finally, Illustrated Acts. Have you seen that other 21 Pilots talent show video? Those guys have a band and it's pretty good. They're very 21 Pilots influence but they have their own thing going on. I'm a really big fan of their album Elementary, which is super dry and you can hear it in the recording quality which totally adds to the charm. This band doesn't exist to get popular and make money, they just want to make music because they want to. That can be said for almost all groups in this video. Give them some love and hear Fine Dining and Breathing, you won't be disappointed. If you have a suggestion for us to do a top 13's list, contact us at www.liveconcierge.com and please make sure to like and subscribe as well as hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.